Mother to Mother, Chapter 12. Mandisa imagines the afternoon of Wednesday, August 25, 1993, the moment Mkhalisi killed the girl. Mandisa's choice to wait to recount the crime until the very end of the novel suggests that she has been building up the courage to piece together how her son became a murderer. By holding off until this moment, Mandisa makes the murder seem all the more dramatic and tragic. The fact that she has been building up the suspense and tension until this moment also echoes the crime itself. After centuries of oppression, first under colonialism and decades of oppression under apartheid, the crime appears like a sudden bursting forth of anger and frustration. The chant, "One settler, one bullet," reminds the writers of their shared history of pain and oppression, provoking them to action. A chant is a repeated rhythmic phrase typically shouted in unison by a crowd. Like in the novel, the real-life girl, Amy Beale, was attacked while in the car and was stabbed repeatedly and fatally. The phrase, "she's just a university student," also points to Amy's status as a Fulbright scholar who was in South Africa to help prepare for the first democratic election as an apartheid activist. Right, so Gr10's an activist is someone who wants to help change the current political situation. As mentioned before, Amy was in South Africa to help. However, under a brutal government that sees the world as black and white, literally, Mkhalisi and his gang do too, and immediately sees this white woman as the white oppressor. Thus, it doesn't matter if she's innocent or of help to the community, because Mkhalisi and his gang's worldview doesn't have room for this kind of nuance. They know nothing of universities. All three of the novel's major themes are mentioned. First, Mandisa suggests that the legacy of colonialism and apartheid is devastating and inescapable. Even before birth, Mkhalisi couldn't escape it. Secondly, Mandisa points out how the entire community failed in their obligation to keep Mkhalisi on a more productive path instead of instilling him passion. So they should have taught him how to be passionate about positive things rather than planting negativity into his mind. That's what Mandisa is saying. And then lastly, Mandisa draws on the chant that has punctuated the novel most frequently, Amabula Azizinya, to remind readers that chants such as this one have been passed down from generation to generation, thus making people like Mkhalisi feel that his fight against the government is also his ancestors' fight. Right, and then in drawing on the backstory of her life and her son's life, the current political climate and the past one, Mandisa seeks to clarify and explain her son's crime rather than justifying it. So she doesn't want to justify, that wasn't her intention of the book or the letter to the mother. Her intention was not to justify it. Her intention was to clarify the reason why he was angry and to explain her son's crime. And then in her letters to the mother and her repeating of the Nonkwawuse myth, Mandisa illustrates the rugged emotional and political landscape that her people and her son grew up in, and implies that anyone with Mkhalisi's life experiences would have turned out just as angry, hardened, and politically radicalized, like a sharpened arrow, itching to be launched at the oppressor.